my name's Ranjodh Dollywall. I've uh, I've definitely been on quite the journey over the last year and a half or so. It all kind of started for me at the beginning of COVID lockdown. So
Mhm.
I was kind of doing the same thing as everyone else, living that in that cycle of just being stuck in the house, eating, drinking, whatever I wanted, and then
Mhm.
about a month in, it got old for me pretty quick.
What did you decide to start doing as far as exercise goes when you decided to make a change?
So as far as exercise goes, because gyms were closed, I was pretty limited. I had limited equipment. So
Mhm.
to start off with, it was just all body weight exercise. So I was doing a lot of burpees, a lot of body weight squats, push-ups, sit-ups, basically anything I could do. But yeah, burpees were definitely huge. Like I was doing burpees like multiple times a day, and just it was good because it never got easier. And even to this day, like I still do burpees every day, and
Well,
that's one exercise. It just does not get easier. So
no.
it's just a gut check, heart check every single day, right? Get that blood pumping, and just a great way to get the overall vibe up.
Absolutely. And so burpees, you mentioned those. What was kind of like the structure of your workout plan? Were you just kind of doing whatever you could, or did you say, I'm going to do 100 burpees a day or something like that?
Yeah, so I started off doing 100 burpees a couple times a week. So
Hmm.
that would be part of my chest workout. So
Gotcha.
I would do 100 burpees, and that would take me like a full hour basically just to do the 100 burpees. And I do some additional push-ups and stuff, like with my feet elevated and
Hmm.
just different variations of push-ups. And then I actually I took a backpack and put a case of water bottles into the backpack to
Wow.
use it as weights. And then I was doing that to using that to do some overhead presses and stuff. So just anything I could use basically, right? And then that over time, those 100 burpees got
Hmm.
easier and easier, and then became like basically like a warm up. Now I burn through 100 burpees in like 10 minutes. So it just
Wow.
yeah, the evolution from it being a full workout to now just a warm up.
That's
It's it's pretty it's pretty crazy when you do them every day how quickly you progress.
absolutely. Yeah, I was gonna say. So, were you tracking your workouts? Were you doing anything like that, or was it just, hey, I'm gonna do chest, I'm gonna do all these different push-up variations, and just see how once I get to a good level, I'll stop today.
So once I got a pull up station,
Hmm.
and then I basically split it up. So I was doing Monday was push, so I was
Hmm.
doing chest, shoulders, triceps,
Hmm.
and then Tuesday I was doing pull workouts, so just doing some pull ups and different variations with that.
Hmm.
And then Wednesday I would do lower body and legs,
Hmm.
and it was just like a 3 day split. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday would be push pull legs, and then I would
Hmm.
just repeat it Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday I would still do some type of a workout, either go for a walk, run,
Hmm.
just get the blood pumping. But it was just more of an active recovery day.
Absolutely. That's incredible. And I talked to a lot of people, and it seems like the pandemic obviously was a really hard time for a lot of people, but one
Yeah,
blessing from it was just that you could stick to a routine like that probably easier than you ever could in your life just because you had nothing
yeah,
else to do. So I think that's really
absolutely.
cool that you took something like a pandemic and actually used it really to your advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah, and did you so just keep I keep asking questions about the workouts, but did you look for anyone for advice for what to work out, or was that just looking online, looking at influencers, things like that?
It kind of did start off as that, and
Hmm.
then once I realized that that was obviously the workouts were a big part of it, but
Hmm.
then I needed to learn more about the nutrition side as well.
Hmm.
That's one area that I've kind of struggled with for a lot of years. Is I would just be basically Monday to Friday eating what I thought was healthy, and then the
Hmm.
weekends I would kind of go off the rails. But once I realized that I needed to really take it to the next level, I
Hmm.
started working with a coach who taught me how to track my macros and what the different macro breakdowns should be and
Hmm.
what it should be specifically for my body, right? And then once I
Hmm.
learned how to do that and I implemented that, then it was just like it just was game over. Like within weeks, I started seeing the changes. Like it went next level with that.
Wow, that's incredible. And I'm sure it's obviously an entire science, everything in nutrition. So we could probably go down a rabbit hole for hours, but just on a
Right.
high level, what kinds of things were you doing with nutrition that you think maybe people who are trying to get into this weight loss journey could implement?
So one of the biggest things I realized is that carbs are not the enemy. So I was always
Mm-hmm.
one of those people who I would just eat like crap, but then I would panic and then just cut out all the carbs and start doing
Mm-hmm.
a bunch of cardio, right? So once I realized that I could actually eat carbs and I needed carbs
Mm-hmm.
fuel those workouts, and actually it would help me build muscle. And that was a major thing for me because I wasn't starving all the time. I was
Mm-hmm.
eating actually more than I was previously, and
Wow.
so that combined with just splitting up the meals throughout the day, so being in a calorie deficit,
Mm-hmm.
having the structured meals split up throughout the day, so you're giving your body that protein in small increments throughout the day, so you're not burning muscle, and you're just feeding those muscles. You're feeding your body the
Mm-hmm.
protein, the carbs, fueling the workouts, and you just start burning fat, right? Even when you're not working out, your metabolism's always in high gear. So that was definitely a big change for me, and it helped me. I think that's one of the biggest things that helped me stick to it because
Mm-hmm.
there's that flexibility there. Once you understand the food and the macros, you can make stuff fit that you actually like to eat.
Mm-hmm.
And it helps you stay on track while still eating some of the foods that you like.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm sure there's a bunch of different things that you've eaten and experimented with, but tell me some
Yeah.
of your favorite dishes that you really enjoy.
So for me, I really like to just keep it basic. Like I just
Mm-hmm.
like the chicken and rice, or sweet potatoes, yams, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
On the weekends, like I'll still have like pancakes with my kids. We'll
Mm-hmm.
do the Kodiak cakes,
Oh yeah.
and they work good, and I can make them fit my macros. So, but Monday to Friday, I like to keep it really simple. It reduces the time to
Mm-hmm.
meal prep, especially when you're tracking and measuring everything. The more ingredients that are in the dish,
Mm-hmm.
more things there are to track and measure, right? So sometimes my wife and I will make something like tuna poke bowls, but there's like 12 ingredients in that, so it takes a long time to put together.
Mm-hmm.
I really like to keep it as basic as possible. So my day usually is about the same. Like I'll have my first meal of the day is usually just a protein shake
Mm-hmm.
and some oats or some cream of rice. Then I hit the gym, come back and do some egg whites, and then another carb source, usually the same thing, either oatmeal or cream of rice. And then lunch and dinner are usually about the same. It's either chicken or fish, some type of veggies, and then either rice or potatoes. And
Mm-hmm.
then meal number four is usually I have some type of a shake. So I'll make like a protein ice cream with a few different variations that I make of that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's usually like I don't mind eating the same thing every day. So it's just I just look at it more as fuel,
Mm-hmm.
and it just gets me through, and I do enjoy it as well. So that it's worked for me and it keeps working. So I'm going to keep doing it, right?
No, absolutely. Yeah. Why would you change it up if it's working
Absolutely.
so well? And was that a problem in the past that you said, like nutrition wise? Were you not, eating sort of a standard meal like you are now?
So yeah, one of the problems in the past was I just wasn't aware of what the amounts of food should be. So I would always, especially Monday to Friday, I would still meal prep. I would eat what I thought was healthy, but I would eat things like I would get like the organic ground beef from Costco, and I thought just because it was organic, it was healthy, but I didn't realize that it had so much fat in it, and
Mm-hmm.
that was making my calories way high, right? And the amount that I would eat was like 8 ounces,
Mm-hmm.
8 ounces cooked. And that's just like a huge amount of calories, right? I didn't need that much. So just understanding portion sizes
Mm-hmm.
was a big part of it. And then just understanding the macronutrient breakdown that I needed for my body, it helped as well, right? So just switching from something like that to if I'm going to eat ground beef, I'll get extra lean ground beef. Or if I'm going to eat something with higher fat, I'll just watch my carb content that day, right? And just make
Mm-hmm.
the adjustments so my total for the day is not over. So it's just a matter of learning the macros. And
Mm-hmm.
then now it's to the point where you can just look at a plate of food, even if you're not tracking it or you're out somewhere, and you have a really good idea of what the calories and what the breakdown probably is.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not there's not that fear of, oh, if I eat this, I'm going to gain weight, or I shouldn't eat that, or just overly restricting, and then that leads to like a binge later on, right? So
Mm-hmm.
just removing that fear because you have the the fundamental understanding of what you're putting into your body.
Hmm. No, absolutely. Yeah, that was going to be my follow-up question is I feel like I get a lot of questions around, let's say you can't control necessarily what you eat and you're going out to a work event and you have to eat what's
Right.
there. And it seems like for you, the biggest thing is being able to, even if it's not perfect, even if you're not going to weigh out that bagel sandwich at
Yeah.
work, maybe it's, a bagel is ballpark 300 calories, eggs or
Yeah.
whatever. So it seems like it's more just estimation.
Yeah, it is for sure. And I mean, obviously you're going to be in those situations, you're not going to be in your house measuring and weighing everything all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But in a situation like that where it's a work event and beforehand, you can actually make those adjustments. So you'll adjust your other meals throughout the day to allow room for a little bit of error and allow yourself to go to an event like that and actually enjoy yourself and not have to worry, right? So, and then obviously sometimes you go over or you have a cheat meal. It's not the end of the world, but you still know that, okay, my weekly average is this much, or I'm still on track, right? And it's not just you're not afraid of it, and there's not that stigma attached to it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think it's funny, this phenomenon of, even if you have a cheat day, a lot of people, including me sometimes, it's like you think once you have a cheat day, you're like, oh, that gives me the go ahead to just, kind of fall off the rails. But for you, it seems like,
Yeah,
hey, you don't worry if, everyone's human, they're gonna have a cheat day, but you
yeah,
can just get right back on the horse. So I really like that. And
yeah.
I know you mentioned earlier, you said, like burpees, you were progressing really quickly. Was there like a moment in your weight loss or a few moments where that you remember in particular where you go, wow, this is really working. Something's really happening here.
Yeah, there's definitely been multiple moments. Times that stick out the most are in one. I remember one of the burpees sessions that I was doing. Like when they started off, it was always difficult. Like I would kind of dread it going into it,
Hmm.
and it would just be kind of a drag. I would get it done, and I would always feel good at the end. But then at probably a few weeks, like maybe 6 to 8 weeks in,
Hmm.
started doing them, and then I started actually like getting into the flow, and then I would enjoy them as I was doing them. It was like just that complete peace. Like mentally, it was like
Hmm.
my mind was completely still,
Hmm.
like going hard, like just flowing in the workout. And it
Yeah.
was just like basically like I was like floating, right? Like just up and down, and just like my mind was clear. And then I actually started to look forward to it and enjoy it after that. And I think that's one of the biggest things that a lot of people miss is they'll look at the workout as like a task or something that they don't want to do. Same thing with the food, right? But
Hmm.
what keeps me going is actually that I've learned to enjoy the process so much,
Hmm.
and that's what I look forward to. So it's not so much the result or the physical progress that I'm trying to make. I get the result every day because
Hmm.
I after the workout's done or even in the workout, I feel so good and my
Hmm.
mind is in such a positive state
Hmm.
that nothing else matters and there's no other problems. Like all I see is solutions to anything that I need to do because I'm putting myself in that mental state every single day.
I love that. Yeah, I think that's something that people don't talk about enough is not only obviously the physical transformation, but really the mental transformation. And I'm sure that's
Right.
poured over to your work, your family. I'm sure it's
Everything. Yeah,
poured
for
over
sure.
into everything, which is so cool. And it's like you said, I mean, it seems like you were progressing on that in a few weeks. So it's crazy to me what someone could do in just a few weeks as far as, transforming
For
their
sure.
mind. It's pretty mind blowing. And then I know we're bouncing around a little bit, but back to I know you said you like have a lot
No
of
worries.
chicken and rice.
Yeah.
I know it seems like you're a creature of habit, but is there anything
Yeah.
that you do to spice it up a little bit? Because I'd imagine even for someone who's fine with eating the same thing, I feel like there's got to be a few spices that we throw in there.
Oh yeah, for sure. For like for spices, I like to use like there's different seasonings. I'll usually go for like a low calorie or most seasonings don't have any calories at all.
Hmm.
So there's like this one I just found recently is actually like a jerk chicken marinade.
Hmm.
So I'll just throw that on the chicken and I'll actually leave it overnight,
Hmm.
put it into the air fryer or I'll barbecue it. And it turns out amazing. It's got no calories, it adds really good flavor. And then there's Costco has a couple other good ones as well.
Mhm.
The Mrs. Dash one's kind of low sodium, so I'll
Mhm.
just add some pink salt to that. And then there's like an Italian seasoning, which is kind of my go-to. I can it's a flavor that kind of goes with everything for me. So
Mhm.
I can put that on my chicken, throw it on the rice. I just any really basic seasoning that doesn't have any calories. And then I like to use different types of flavored mustard. Mustard's good because it doesn't have too many calories either.
Mhm.
You got to watch the sauces. That's another thing that a lot of people miss is the sauces sometimes have so much fat or sugar in them
Mhm.
that you might be having a healthy meal, but then you put like 2 tablespoons of this sauce on there and it just
Mhm.
throws everything off, right? So watch the calories on that. But there's some really good low sugar barbecue sauces you can throw on your food, add some good flavor. So it's just a matter of finding what works for you, something that you can
Mhm.
eat all the time, and it's always good, right?
Absolutely. And one thing that's really kind of stuck out to me throughout this whole interview is it seems like it was like you said at the end of that answer, it's all something that you've been figuring out. It's almost like a constant
Yeah,
thing instead of like, hey, I'm going to do this diet starting today and I'm going to do it for 6 months. It's like, hey, no, I like this sauce. I'm going to keep doing this. Oh, I don't like this. I'm not going to do that. So it's like, it's almost like
absolutely.
it's like you're iterating on it, which I think is so cool because that's another mindset that I feel like people have sometimes and they struggle is like, hey, I'm gonna force myself to do this thing that I don't really
Yeah,
like. But instead it's like, hey, I actually, like in a month from now, I'm gonna know so much more than I did last month. And this month I'm gonna know even more. So I think it's just really cool to hear that you're trying to
yeah,
figure things out as you go. And I'm sure in a year if I talk to you, there's gonna be some other things that you figured out. So
yeah.
I think that's super cool.
Yeah, for sure. It's always a work in progress, and like you said, it's one of the differences from what I've done in the past, and that like I've tried to lose weight or tried to go on these like diets, and it's been short lived just for those reasons because I put myself in this box and I can't stick to it. But with this way, it's more of a like I understand that it's a lifestyle change, and I'm just going to learn and evolve as I go. There's ups and downs, but as long as I'm mindful that I'm making progress,
Mhm.
and we just keep going, right?
No, absolutely. And another thing that's really stuck out to me is that obviously people can use different sorts of diets to make things work for them. But
Yeah,
it correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like there's not really like one particular type of diet or particular type of workout that you're doing technically. It seems like it's more just like tracking calories, making sure your macros are good, and so it doesn't like fit into one box like keto
right.
or Weight Watchers or something.
Yeah, for sure. It's just basically a balanced diet. So I don't I don't think it's sustainable to cut out like a whole macronutrient. Like keto's good, and I know a lot of people lose a lot of weight on keto, and there's definitely some benefits to it. But in terms of just sustainability and long-term success, I think it's important to have a balance in there. And same thing with the workouts, like to do only cardio is not good, not great, and then to
Mhm.
do just powerlifting is not great. So just I like to mix it up, change up, and like have periodization in
Mhm.
the workouts, in the diet, go up and down, right? So it gives you something new to work towards, gives you something to be excited about, like, oh, I'm going to do this for a couple of months and then see how it goes, maybe change it up. So it's just always changing it up to keep your body guessing, and then just to make it fun, make it enjoyable.
No, absolutely. I think you've clearly have done such a good job of that. And so also I feel like you've already given us so many nuggets, so many little hacks that we can take with us in our own
Right.
weight loss journey. But are there any other ones? Like for me, I know one of them was like I would always brush my teeth, right after I ate dinner. So that way it
Right.
was like mind, hey, you're not eating anymore. But do you have any of
Yeah.
those kind of like simple things like that have worked for you?
So on that side of it, for me, I think what the biggest thing for me was it wasn't any type of hacks or anything. It was
Mm,
really attaching some attaching some deeper meaning to what I was doing. So the biggest thing was just understanding that it's not just about the physical result. Like I was
mm,
saying, showing up because I wanted to feel better about myself, and that knowing that how I feel about myself affects everybody else around me too, right? So that's something that's kept me coming back. And just so, and attaching that meaning to it, after I'm done dinner, if I feel hungry again, I just think back to that, like, what am I working towards? How am I going to feel if I eat that piece of cake? Like, is it going to make me feel any better, or is it going to make me feel worse for that 2 minutes of pleasure, or whatever it is, right?
Hmm.
Or can I delay it until I've actually scheduled myself to have a meal, right? So it's just, for me, it's really going deep with it is what's helped me stay on track.
Absolutely. This has all been super inspiring. And was just curious. I know you said you had like the coach that helped you out. Were there any other people right now that you look to as far as fitness and nutrition, like any YouTubers, Instagram, anything like that?
So I follow a lot of different people. There's not any one particular one that kind of sticks out, but definitely, like, there's a guy named Wes Watson on
Hmm.
Instagram. He's been huge. And then obviously, like guys like David Goggins. I love to hear him talk. Like,
Hmm.
he just goes next level with it. So it's just different people, but it's more of what they're saying and what I'm feeling in that moment, right? Like, there could be a lot of different things that'll affect you depending on how you're feeling and what you're looking for, right? Just to be inspired. But at the end of the day, it just comes down to your personal discipline. And, like, motivation is definitely helpful to get you started, but it's that discipline and finding it in yourself that keeps you going.
Absolutely, absolutely. And yeah, I can relate as far as, I'm not listening to David Goggins all the time, but sometimes, man,
Yeah,
he's a he'll wake you up for sure.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I just wanted to, you know, for anyone watching, where can we find you and kind of what are you up to as far as fitness goes?
So as far as fitness goes, definitely you can find me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is rd.fit.
Hmm.
And where I'm at is I live the process every single day. I'm up early, I work out, and I do share that every single day. And I'm actually, once I went through the journey myself of weight loss, and I learned how to track my macros, naturally everyone around me started asking me for help, and I started helping some people around me.
Hmm.
That snowballed into me actually helping people online. So now I post on my Instagram, and I've been helping people. I actually just posted a really good transformation today of somebody that I helped lose like almost 30 pounds over a
Wow.
90-day period. So it's just turned from me obviously going through the transformation myself, helping people around me, and then now helping as many people as I can through the online journey and on Instagram. So yeah, definitely, if anybody listening wants some inspiration, some tips, check me out on Instagram at rd.fit.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for coming on. We really, really appreciate you. And this has been super helpful even for me. I think I learned a lot about, I think I gotta go get that jerk chicken seasoning. I think that's
Yeah,
one thing I gotta get.
definitely.
But
I'll send you a picture of the one I use. It's great.
oh, let's go. I love it. I love it. Awesome. Well, thank you so much once
Thanks for
again.
having me.
Yeah, absolutely.